that devastation that came from that. My impressions. I was very flattered that she really liked one of my poems. She was vociferous about it. That was pleasing.
Yeah, she was a poet. She was writing. There's a lot of poetry in her book.
Yeah. So I think she gave me a copy of Issues Through the Moss, or that Lumpur Sumedho had a copy of that. So, because I've certainly read that, but not for many years. She was very, and then she was talked about her time with Lumpur Ted, and how she was kind of bewildered at how much he praised her, which was a good sign. But she felt that his judgment must be mistaken, which was very sweet. And you think, okay, well, that probably means his judgment was not mistaken. And so I had at least a couple of long conversations with her.
About her practice, or
and her story, and the time in Thailand, and then also her being in Norway and living in seclusion, like living in a little cabin up in the woods.
She was up in Svalbard as well. Yeah, she describes it in the book that this her daughter actually moved there for a while.
I didn't know the name Svalbard.
Yeah, at that time.
I hadn't really registered that
at that time, but it's in the book now. It's that she had this cabin in the woods that had to be bolted to the ground so that the strong winds wouldn't carry it away. And then she asked to go there to meditate basically on her own. And then she was somewhere else in, I think, Trondheim. There's this Dr. Philip. Did she mention him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so he used to be a kind of a teacher kind of first, and she kind of
she had sort of idolized Dr. Philip, and then it became really clear that she had sort of spiritually outpaced him quite considerably.
Yes.
But anyway, so I was very impressed with her. She was, grey-haired and wrinkly, but sparkly eyes. And very impressive being.
I just started recording it just for our memory. But
I think we want to relaunch the book. It's a bit of Norwegian Dhamma history, isn't it?
Indeed.
There's not much else.
I mean, it was a long time ago. It was back in the era of late 80s, 30 years ago.
Okay.
So that I think I'm not absolutely sure, but I think she was there doing the retreat with Lumpur Sumedho, and then he had to go off because his mother was ill, and then I ended up taking care of the second half of the retreat. It's an experience in its own right. And but anyway, somehow she had come across this poem of mine. She was really enthusiastic about, and so then she contacted me about that. And then when she came and visited Amravati again, then we had a long conversation. I remember sitting in the monks' reception room talking with her. So the memory, I mean, it's 30 years ago, so it's not that clear. But she came back, and then I think she must have died in the early 90s or late 80s. Do you know when she died?
We have some details of it. Her daughter lives up in Trondheim, and we got some photos. We could send it to you. Yeah.
I haven't communicated with her myself directly, but I think she even died later, sometime in 2000.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I've heard, but I'm not sure.
Because
she was pretty elderly when I met her.
Oh, really? Ex-Jalitom met her, who was here the other day. Ex-monk Jalito, who is not that old. Yeah, the nuns met her, but that could have been this retreat, you see, that they were talking about. Some of the nuns at Amaravati.
She came a few times.
Oh, she came.
She was very inspired by Lumpur Sumedho and felt that was, and particularly because when she was in Thailand, she couldn't understand Lumpur Tate because of the language. He couldn't speak any English really, and so everything was going through a translator. So then, not just hearing Lumpur Sumedho's teaching, but also hearing it in English was very impactful for her. So that was something that she really appreciated, and also she felt very in tune with the wisdom approach that Lumpur Sumedho spoke from, and I felt that was very, very in tune with Lumpur Tate and what she'd experienced. And So she felt a great affinity with Lumpur Sumedho's teachings. Yeah.
Oh, we could ask him then.
Yeah, if he remembers her. And because I got the feeling that she, when I met her, that it was fairly well sort of trodden path coming to visit him or to visit Amaravati. Because I say it's a long time ago, but I remember extensive conversation with her going in detail about this incident with her husband. I think she was literally sort of abandoned on the train station.
No, we can give you the latest draft. I'm just proofreading it. It was more like he fell under the train. His legs were cut off by the train. There was this horrible sort of situation.
Oh yeah.
And she was caring for him, and he didn't say a single word. Then he died miserably. And only later she found out he had this other son with another woman. So she was kind of like, she says, I felt I was like betrayed and killed by a dead man or something.
That's right, yeah.
Like really kind of.
That's right, yes. I've forgotten that. I knew there was a train involved.
Yes.
That's right. But I haven't read a book or
we can.
So many years ago.
Well, we had this idea that like we could republish it. It was republished in Malaysia by this what's it called, Inward Path Press. That they reprint different Dhamma books about
Inward Path.
Yeah, it's Malaysia. They kind of publish nicely designed little publications and reprinted there in '98. And we got the permission from her daughter, I think, to reprint it. Yeah. So it would be a nice thing for the Norwegians to maybe sponsor.
That's a lovely picture you got of her down below.
We got some more. Her like dressed like a Meiji in Mali Bagøien. Kind of nice. Yeah, for the Norwegians, that's the only thing we kind of have as a history. She's a bit kind of the analogy is so with Jane Brown maybe. I wonder if she ever met her. Possible.
Well, Jane Brown was very much a Lumpur Mahabua devotee, so I don't know how much time she would have spent at other places like Hinmak.
But
the same sort of era.
But Mali, she was reading Lumpur Mahabua's the early translations as they came out, like Wisdom Develops Samadhi and these kind of farewell desana. This Dr. Philip gave her to Mali to read, so she was also very much keen on meeting Lumpur Mahabua, so she went to see him several times.
Well, maybe she did meet him.
So it's possible. I read through them, and there's nothing mentioned about her. But Mali said that she did communicate to Lumpur through the help of some Westerners, I think, resident there.
Yeah, there was a few that were around.
Who could speak.
There was Dhammachando was there, and Panyabaso, who was an Australian, he was there. There was a few that were around in those days. Actually, this fellow I met at Amaravati, Devisaro, he might have been around at the same time. I don't think he was there at Hinmak Peng very long. But he knew Lumpur Tate from Australia. But anyway.
Okay, that's good.
Well, it's certainly a very good thing to do. Is that the only thing she's written, is Issues Through the Moss?
The daughter of Brenda says if she finds anything interesting, she passed it on. But in the book it says that at one point Mali had been writing her own, even translating Dhamma books from English to Norwegian, things like that. But at one point she burned everything as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's part of the story, so maybe there's nothing much left, I don't know. But anyway, you could ask Lumpur Sumedho maybe. He might remember. Write a little like appendix to the story. But that doesn't indicate in the book, there's nothing about her having any contacts with like the Western Dhamma scene at all.
Really?
No, not in the book.
Where did she live mostly?
Don't know. Yes.
And when she was in Svalbard, do you know where she was?
There was some hut. It must have been probably not far from the main, like we were describing yesterday, the main town. Somewhere around. She used to do a lot of skiing, so I guess she could have gone out there. Maybe it was more relaxed in those days. She could have gone out without a gun. But
they wouldn't have had the laws, but you would have probably still been wise. Yeah, there are remote cabins. Like one of our guides, those across the big fjord, the ice fjord on the other side. He said there was a cabin it was on the north side of Ice Fjord. He sort of booked for some months, and he was aiming to spend the winter there.
No.
He had like a 10-month stay, and it's just like literally like a log cabin on the edge of the fjord, and that's it. It's you and the ice and the rock and the bears and the walruses.
Yeah, because I'm sure Lumbosumedo would have talked to her about this. Well, no, he hadn't gone to Svalbard by then, but some kind of interest in the Arctic. Yeah, we can mention it to him.
I don't know if I mean, she was very my memory of the conversation with her is that it was really all about Dhamma practice, and she mentioned her life story insofar as the depth of dukkha, and as you say, that feeling of betrayal. I'd forgotten that it was actually after her husband had died that she found out. I had this. I remember that. But mostly it was all about the Dhamma themes, and so and I do remember her saying that she went off to live in a little cabin in the wilds.
It might be the Trondheim area.
Norway, but I think the memory I have was more like off in the woods, and there's no trees on the side.
No, that was this Dr. Phillips hut. Yeah, she used to go there.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
And that's near Trondheim.
I think it was somewhere near Trondheim.
Yeah, and she spent time out there. But that was a bit more of a cursory mention, but mostly it was about Dhamma themes, Dhamma practice. Interested in. Yeah, very luminous character.
She said at one point she was ready to go off to Thailand basically and stay on living there as a Meiji. But then her mother or mother's sister, something happened, and she basically had to take care of all her relatives in the end, and children, and so then she never got the chance. But she had been to Thailand several times.
How many children did she have?
At least she mentioned some son and a daughter, and at least two, maybe more. Yeah, well, thanks for your memories.